my beautiful angels? It's Isabel, and in today's video we're going to talk about how to tap into your goddess, your feminine power, and that goddess energy. Now, I made a video about a month ago or so that you guys really loved, and I keep getting such great feedback on that video, so thank you. And the video is how to be a high value woman. If you have not checked that video out, I will link it up above or in the description for you guys to go see it. And it's a good intro to what we're going to talk about today, which is how to tap into that and how to step by step get into your power. Now, before I get into this video, I totally forgot last time I opened up spots for personal one-on-one coaching to announce it here on YouTube, so I am announcing it now. I actually have a few more spots that I have opened up for private personal one-on-one coaching directly with me, and I do have spots available for my 8-week program and 4-month program. So if you guys are interested, please visit my website. It's takingbackyourpower.com. Click on personal coaching and you will have all the information there, as well as rates for one-on-one. I will be conducting free 20-minute introductory calls this week for those of you who do fill out the questionnaire and who are interested and who are serious candidates only. So please be aware that my coaching spots fill up really quickly, literally in a span of a few days. So if you're very interested, please be sure to go to my website and fill out the questionnaire. Do it as soon as possible so you can book your free 20-minute introductory call with me and we can get started. This is a great time to start personal coaching because we are coming into a new year. So for those of you who do become my clients around this time, we will work through anything for goals for 2020 and just laying down the foundation and the groundwork for anything coming up. Link is in the description of this video. All right, now let's get into it. Step number 1 on tapping into that goddess energy, that feminine power that all women have within them. Now, let me just clarify, every single human being has this power within them. It's not limited just to women, but us women, a lot of times we forget it. It gets kind of extinguished. But if you're a man or anybody else, no matter what you identify as, this is a video for you, and everyone can use these steps for themselves. Step number 1 is know who you are. Identity is key. And the thing is, nowadays we have a warped sense of our own identity. We often don't feel that we have an identity, or we put our identities onto external things or things that aren't us. Now, I talked about in my goddess energy video about how often we place our worth and our value into things that aren't truly us, and even our external, our looks. I think that we put a lot of our worth as women into the way we look, or the way others perceive us, or if others find us attractive, or whatever it might be. And it is so important, guys, to make the distinction of what you truly are and who you truly are, your true self versus your external self, or kind of the extension of you out in the physical world. So it's so easy to put our self-worth and who we are and our identity into things like our looks, our bank account, our GPAs, amount of admirers we have or followers that we have, fame, or our youth, our age, and all these things. And when we do that, when we put our worth or our identity into our career, our relationships, and all these things, we will often forget who we are. We'll lose ourselves. Or let's say we lose one of these things, or our career goes south, or we lose a ton of money. Then what's left? If we put our whole identity and our whole worth into these things, we don't have our true selves left, do we? We have nothing left. We feel like we're worthless and we're useless, when in reality, those things people notice about us or might like about us, or we try to sell ourselves on, they're not truly us. They're just a facet of us. They are just the sprinkles on top of a sundae. We're the whole sundae. We're not the cherry or the chocolate syrup. We're the sundae itself. So we have to see ourselves as that. So you might be asking, well, if I'm not my career, if I'm not my relationships, if I'm not all these things about me that are really good, then what am I, Isabel? Well, let me tell you, you are an essence, your true essence, your true self. That is who you are. And often I like to define this as your higher self. Your higher self is your true self, this goddess, beautiful energy that we all possess. And all of us have a unique essence. All of us have a unique self. And that self usually is us when we're at our happiest, when we are feeling fulfilled, when we're feeling good about ourselves, when we're being our true selves. Usually when no one's watching, when no one's judging us, who is that person? And you might be saying, well, I don't like that person because that person just sits at home and watches Netflix or eats all this junk food, whatever. But that's the thing, is often, and I'm going to get into this in a little bit, often we don't like who we are when we're alone or on our own without validation or people watching us. So we tend to mask it and try to portray a different image to the world, or we just hide altogether, which is not good either. So it's important that we tap into who we truly are in that true essence. And that's usually the person we're afraid of being outwardly, that person we're afraid of expressing outwardly. Maybe you're a more artistic person and you're in a career field that pushes you to be more analytical and more cutthroat. Or perhaps you feel like you've had to uphold this sort of ideal or this image of yourself or your family or your friends, or else you feel they won't accept you or they'll chastise you. And this is where it takes a lot of courage to be your true self. It takes a lot of courage. It's kind of like this video I watched on Bruce Lee, which you guys should follow the Bruce Lee Instagram page, because Bruce Lee was just a sage, just full of wisdom. And he talks about, it's easy to kind of puff yourself up and be cocky. It's easy to be all theatrical and show off, but it's hard to be your true self. And this is where you have to get really clear on who you truly are. All you have to do is figure out, what do you enjoy? What makes you feel the most alive? What makes you feel the most just in flow, just like, this is who I am. And for me, a lot of that comes from making videos. When I sit down and make a video, it's kind of like, this is who I truly am. I love to do what I do. I'm so grateful that I get to do what I do. And it could be for you, it could be traveling, it could be writing, it could be being creative, painting, it could be reading books. Who is that true person? Who is that person? What do you enjoy? It's also important to get really clear and self-aware on who you are. And an easy way to be self-aware is to just go through your feelings, your heart, put your hand on your heart. And when you have to make a decision, don't make a pros and cons list, but just listen to what your heart says. Usually your heart speaks to you in just a clear and concise and quick manner. It's not kind of like the jargon that goes on in your mind where it's like, well, you should do this, I'll actually do that. But no. It's always very clear, and often we're not connected to that. So it's important that we hear that and we are connected to that and not go kind of waffling in our mind. But that's another topic. But it's also important that you get in touch with your strengths and weaknesses. Now, this is the thing, is that often we're super hyper focused on our weaknesses and we don't give enough energy to our strengths. Or perhaps we're super hyper focused on our strengths and we forget that there are things that we are sabotaged by and are blocking us. So we have to be aware of our weaknesses too, so that we know not to go into situations or into things that aren't aligned with who we truly are. So it's important that you make a list. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And get really real with yourself. Be honest with yourself, guys. I think that is the most important part of knowing who you truly are, is just being honest. Don't sugarcoat things. If there are things you have to work on, that's great. Limiting beliefs that get in the way of us being our true selves. There are things we need to heal from, or perhaps habits that we have or that are keeping us from expanding on who we truly are and becoming our best self. And you'll see that'll help guide you in who you are. But don't get too hung up on the weaknesses if that's something you tend to do. Nobody can tell you who you are. You'll already know who you are. Also, energy. Energy doesn't lie. We're all made up of energy, and you have to be real with what your energy is. Maybe you're more cool and calm, or maybe you're more vibrant or energetic. Maybe you're somebody more reserved. And whatever your energy is, whatever you feel most comfortable being as, in your truest, most, think of the people you're most comfortable around. What are you like around them? And it's important that you allow yourself to embody this energy and to express this energy. Now, you might be saying, well, I really don't know who I am. I'm kind of different in, this aspect of my life, and I switch around. And that's the thing, is that often we are chameleons. We change ourselves to mold certain scenarios and certain people, and we forget that we are not lizards. We are human beings, and we don't have to adapt to our environments in that same way. We have to find environments that fit us, which is why when we go out in the cold weather, we have to bundle up because we're naturally warm-blooded and we feel good when we're out in 70-degree weather. That's what we have to realize, is that we all have our own set temperature. We all have our own ecosystem, basically, our own environment, and we don't have to adapt to other people. It's exhausting. It drains your energy. So it's important is that you get really clear on who you are by trying new things, getting out of your comfort zone, figuring out the things that you love to do, the things that you're good at, and own that. When you figure out and you know your identity, own it, express it. Don't hide it, don't hinder it, don't feel like it's not good enough or it has to look like somebody else's to impress people. Don't ever adapt your identity or your energy to impress others. And that's number one. Identity, getting clear on who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you thrive at, what you don't thrive at, your strengths, your weaknesses, and allow that to guide you forward. Step number 2 is to know what you want. And I think that this is something that a lot of women are told, you don't know what you want, blah, blah, blah. And that's the thing, is that a lot of times we don't know what we want, but we know what we don't want. So allow what you don't want to guide you and lead you into what you do want. And I mean, know what you want in every area, every facet of your life, because often we're unclear or uncertain about certain things because we haven't actually thought about them, or we're fitting our needs and our wants to what other people want for us or need from us, or we want something and we feel like we're not gonna have it, we're not worthy of it, we can't have it. And that's the thing. A queen, a goddess, knows what she wants. Goddess knows what she's good at. A goddess knows her strengths and her weaknesses and knows what she wants. And she's not going to stand back and just wait for things to come down from the sky, because we can't live passive lives, guys. We have to be proactive in our lives. So if you don't know what you want out of life, sit down and make a plan. By knowing yourself and knowing what you're good at, and even if you don't know what to do in your career or what to study or all these things, allow the identity that you know of yourself and the true self to guide you along these things. That's why it's important to know your strengths and weaknesses, so that you can be better aligned with what you're really good at in life, and you will thrive through life. I want you guys to thrive. I don't want you to struggle. I want you to thrive. So that's why you sit down and you make a plan according to these strengths and weaknesses, your high points and the things that you thrive at, the things that you love to do. Make choices, guys. Life is a series of choices. Life is all about choice, and every single day we make thousands of choices. A lot of the choices we make on autopilot, like what we want to eat. We really don't give much thought to that. We really don't pay attention to the people that we text or whatever. And often we get hung up on the silliest things. But if you realize that your life is in your hands and it's a series of choices that you have made, you have a lot more free will than you think or you give yourself. So make sure that the choices and everything that you do in life aligns with what it is that you want. If you want to get in a certain career field, you do whatever it takes for you to thrive in that career field. And just because you face setbacks or anything forms against you, you tell yourself, my strengths and my essence and my energy is stronger than any of these setbacks or any of these difficulties that I may be facing right now. So after you have decided what you want and you've made this plan and you say, this is what I want in a relationship, this is what I want in my career, goals that you may have, I want to live in this place, I want to do this, I want to do that. As you make choices throughout your day that align with what it is that you want, and you change your habits to align with what it is that you want in your life. So if you want to become an actress or a singer, you make sure that you go and you take voice lessons or acting lessons or get an agent. Be proactive in your life and your choices. When you decide what it is that you want, you say no to everything that isn't that, which is really hard, I know. But saying no is one of our biggest powers. Saying yes is a power, but no is an even bigger, tougher power to have, because that shows discipline, restraint. Also, learn to set intention, which I need to make a video on how to set intention in life, because that's what helps guide me. A lot of people ask me, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you this? And I don't have motivation. I focus on discipline and intention. If I get up one morning, I say I'm going to do something, I set the intention, I'm going to get this accomplished, and I allow my discipline to carry me through the day. No matter how boring it may be, no matter how not fun or annoyed or sick or whatever I feel, I never get sick, but anyways, no matter how I feel that day, the discipline and that intention, I live my life with intention. That is what carries me through tasks that may be dumb or menial or difficult in the moment. And even if you don't know what you want right off the bat, even if it's still unclear, even if you're still figuring it out, you set the intention, whatever I'm doing today is going to lead me towards what it is that I want. Step number 3 is to focus on yourself and focus on your growth. Now, the problem is we all have this beautiful, amazing power, but we give it away all the time. We're constantly giving it away, by saying yes to things that we actually don't want, by allowing things that we don't want in our life, by continuing to allow things that we know that we didn't want, but we're afraid to disappoint others. We're afraid of this. We're living in fear, which is horrible. A lot of us live in fear. The ego, I have a whole video on the ego called You Are Not Your Fears, which is a really good one if you guys struggle with that, with overthinking. We have to focus on our individual journeys, not focusing on lack, not focusing on our past or what went wrong in the past, but focusing on being our best selves. And often that will mean a lot of inner work, working on our habits, working on our inner dialogue, on our limiting beliefs, which I also have a video on as well. I will link it for you guys. Make sure that everything you do in life is to improve yourself, because we're never going to reach our highest potential, which one of the saddest things is living a life and never reaching your highest potential. And it is almost your duty to reach your potential. It is your God-given duty to reach and become your greatest version. So that's why it's important to stop looking around, stop worrying about what other people are doing or what they're saying, or whether it's negative or positive towards you, or they don't, whatever. Stop looking around at what other people have or what other people do. Just stop worrying about others in general, unless they need your help and you have to help them. That's different. But being focused on yourself is true mastery, is true power. It allows you more time and more energy to focus on what's important. So getting ahead on your goals, making things happen. Also, when you focus on yourself, you naturally attract people who are also focused on themselves, but aren't energy vampires, who aren't going to try to steal your energy, who aren't trying to take advantage of you, because they're not going to be like, oh, there's their weak spot, I'm going to take advantage of that. They're actually going to be aligned with you. So ways that you can focus on yourself is through your health and your fitness, through setting goals. That's why it's important to know what you want in every facet of your life. Set these goals and make sure that you stick to your goals. I can't say enough about discipline. You can't wait for other people to come and discipline you. You're not a child. You can't wait for people to come and tell you, do this, do that. You have to do it for yourself. And that is true self-love. When you sit down and you work through something, or you go and you do something that's really hard for yourself, for your betterment, not when anyone else is telling you to do it, or because it's the cool thing, or because everyone else is doing it, because you wanted to, you set that intention, you have that level of commitment towards yourself that you're like, you know what, I'm actually going to sit down or I'm going to go and out and do this thing, no matter how difficult it is, no matter what other people say or how other people may criticize me for it. I'm going to actually do it and follow through to this commitment to myself, to show myself I am worthy of that level of commitment. I am worthy of somebody fighting for me, for somebody doing the most for me. You all are, but you have to show yourself that first. You have to prove to yourself that you're worthy of these things by actually going and doing these things for yourself, not for anyone else. So whether that's being disciplined to go to the gym, to eat well, to nourish your body with good foods that are for your health, not just giving into momentary pleasures or temptations, going out and drinking. If you said that you were gonna stop drinking for a while, don't let, oh, everybody's going out tonight, why don't you come out? Don't fall into that, because then you're going to prove to yourself, I'm not worthy of commitment. And then you're over here crying because somebody didn't commit to you or somebody didn't do this for you. But if you didn't lay down the foundation for how you should be treated by yourself, through your actions, then where is there to build a foundation upon? How can you expect others to do for you what you can't even do for yourself? So commit to yourself, commit to your growth. And also know this, that in order for us to reach that energy, it's not about just doing the work and doing or waiting to become, but it's about embodying that person, higher self. Embody them now through your actions, through your words, and just through being. This energy is not something that you have to attain. It's already within you. The thing is that we have to do this work in order for kind of the weeds to be cleared out of the way, and for this true self to come out and be already as you are. It's already within you now. Step number 4 is to represent yourself well. So I was talking with a client the other day, and I used this analogy. Imagine if you were the defendant in a case and you hired a high-powered lawyer, you gave them all this money to represent you in court, and then they had all the case ready, they had it all together, they had all the evidence to acquit you, everything to plead your case so you would be found not guilty, and then they just stood up in court in front of the jury and they said, oh, you know, my client is not guilty, and yeah. And then the lawyer went and sat down and didn't do anything. They had everything. They had the whole case written out. They had all the evidence they needed to prove your innocence, and they didn't even present it to the jury. That is what you do to yourself every time you hide these incredible things about you or you sell yourself short. You are literally being a lawyer that is working against the client, but to yourself. So you are both the lawyer and the client in this scenario. Don't be one person in this environment and be a completely different person in another environment. Don't sell yourself short, you know, whether that's in a job interview or in an audition or on a first date. Don't sell yourself short because you're too lazy or you're too scared, because that is how you lose out on who you truly are. That is how you misrepresent yourself. In the way you dress, in the way you act, in the way you conduct yourself. And yes, while we shouldn't necessarily care about what other people think of us, if you are doing one thing and then doing something else, and you're this incredible, vibrant person, yet you're not allowing that to be expressed, you're telling yourself subconsciously that you are not worthy of expressing yourself, that you need to hide away, that there's something wrong with you. And a lot of times this is stuff that happens growing up. We're told, oh, we're too loud, we're too this, we're too that, so we hide ourselves. But this is what you need to start doing the opposite of, which is why limiting beliefs are so important to work on. You have to make sure that you're expressing and pleading your case really well. And this does not mean that if somebody disrespects you, you have to go and shout at them and say all this stuff. No, sometimes being cool and calm in those difficult situations is true power. But it's about not letting people mistreat you. If you are dating someone and they constantly show you their true colors, that you keep giving them a chance, then you're misrepresenting yourself. Think of yourself as your own lawyer. You know, you're a high-powered million-dollar lawyer, and you're either going to fight for that injustice or you're going to say, nope, my client's not going to deal with that, and remove yourself from the equation. It's important that you choose your battles wisely. Stop allowing things in your life that you know you don't like or know that are wrong for you, allowing people into your life that you know are not going to serve you or help you or make you a better person in any way, allowing behavior from people that does not align with what you want out of life, and staying in situations or not pleading your case in situations that you know are going to keep you in jail, are going to lock you up for life. That is showing yourself subconsciously and telling your higher self, I don't care enough about you to do anything for you. And that is when we start to be like, oh wow, you know, I just threw away the key and I'm here stuck in this cell. I couldn't stand up for who I truly am, for my true self. In every situation you are in, you represent yourself well. With dignity, class, with elegance, through respect. Respecting yourself. If you don't respect yourself, guys, no one's going to respect you. You have to do all of these things, represent yourself well within and to yourself and to your higher self. So that will expand outwardly. It will open up doors for you. People will respect you. People will be drawn to you. People will want you in their life, and vice versa. You'll attract good people into your life if you represent yourself well. But if you're just out here without boundaries, if you're out here just allowing whatever to happen, and you have this thick, beautiful case that will acquit you of a charge, and you're not pleading it, you're not letting it out, you're not expressing it, your talents, your abilities, and you're just kind of cowering in the corner, not being you, you are always going to feel like you're not enough. And that is not goddess energy. That is not queen energy. Even if you're not feeling sure of yourself in a situation, you're going into a situation where you're scared or you're doubtful or you have imposter syndrome or you're told I can't do it or I don't deserve it, you stand up, do the superwoman pose, hands on your hips, lift up your chin a little higher, roll your shoulders back. Allow your body language to represent you as well. Don't just hunch over. Being in that power, walking into a room. Allow your energy to carry you through the room. Don't be questioning, do these people like me? No, you question, do I like being here? Is this my energy? Does this fit my vibe? That is queen energy. Finally, step number 5 is to be your own biggest supporter. Often, We stand back and we don't express our true, most vibrant self because we were waiting for other people to come and validate us, for people to give us a permission slip to chase our dreams, to get in our talents, get in our strengths, to be creative, to create, to just be us. We're often waiting for someone to be like, oh, good job. We're waiting for that. And why? You need to be sure that you give it to yourself first. People, they're just people. They're other humans. A lot of them have insecurities and flaws just as much as you do or more. So it's important that you stop waiting for people. It doesn't matter if friends, family, your partner, whoever, guys you're dating, people you're dating. Don't give them that power. Validation. That's huge power you give to other people. So you need to take that power back, put it back in your own hands, and support yourself. Stop beating yourself up every time you make a mistake. Of course, say, I'm learning. This is just an incident and I'm gonna do better next time. Or about your body. Stop talking negatively about your body, guys. Even if nobody's listening, you know, when you look in the mirror, you say, oh my gosh, I am beautiful. I am great. I am strong. I am healthy. I am fit. I am glowing. Positive affirmations go a long way. Instead of saying, oh, my skin's so ugly, my skin's so dry, or I'm so fat, or I'm so skinny, or I'm this or that, say, I'm so beautiful. I love the way I look. I love this vessel I was given because nobody else has this vessel. It's all mine. And taking care of yourself, your spirit, your mind, and your body, and not talking in a derogatory manner towards yourself. Don't say anything about yourself that you wouldn't want anyone else to say about you. You have to be your own biggest supporter. That is number one, because as an African proverb goes, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot hurt you. So don't be your own inner enemy. Be your biggest supporter, because then you exude naturally an energy that's like, they're just confident. This is what Muhammad Ali used to do. He used to run around saying he was the greatest. And he didn't say it so other people would believe it or for other people to be intimidated. He said that he would say that so that he would believe it, and he did. And that's why he became the greatest. Tell yourself, I am beautiful. I am powerful. I am intelligent. I can take this. Especially in those moments where you are most doubtful, you tell yourself over and over, I can do this. I can take this. I am strong. I am capable. And you'll see how your actions and your thoughts and your feelings will align just by changing that simple inner dialogue. You're very strong. You're very capable. You're very beautiful and glowing, and your essence is what you need to make sure that you are always clear. Don't try to make it look like anyone else's. Don't compare it to anyone else's. Stay in your energy. That is your power. All right, guys, so I hope this video helped you. If it did, please leave me your feedback down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear about your own journey in tapping into that goddess energy. What do you do? Let's lift each other up in the comments. And again, if you guys would like to have me as your own personal coach, please visit my website, takingbackyourpower.com, and visit the link, personal coaching, and you'll find all the information there. Please understand that spots are very limited, and since I am working with you one-on-one every single week, my time is very limited. I don't have anyone else help me. This is not an online course. This is literally me and you sitting down, working together over Skype or phone call, whatever method is easiest for you. So please know that everything reflects that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and also check out my podcast called Taking Back Your Power. The link is always in the description of this bio. It's free to listen to on all platforms that podcasts are available. I will see you guys in my next video, and always remember this: no matter who you may be in this life, no matter what you may look like, no matter what you've been through or who you are, your true beauty, your true worth, and your true power always come from within. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.